Hi everyone, welcome back to Techie Anshi. On this video in Techie Anshi, we are going to discuss a part 2 version of the legend video which I've already created on my channel. If you haven't already watched it, I'll put a link over here on top for you to watch it as well. So without any further ado, let's get right into this video. For the sixth one, we are going to use an arrow-like legend. For this, let's go ahead and start with a new sheet, for which I'm pulling up the regions onto the row shelf, and then from the marks card, pull the shape. Move the region not to the row, instead move it to the column, and then fit this to an entire view. Now, go on the shapes and click more shapes. I have already preloaded a nice arrow button which I'm loading over here. You can use any kind of buttons that you would want to use. Move that to colors and put a label as well. Now align the label in such a way that it matches the color of the icon as well as is aligned to bottom center. Make it a little bit bold and a bit bigger, and you can hide the header because that's something not required. Also, you can hide any additional lines to make it look a little bit more neat. Once this is done, let's pull this over our sheet. And this is how it would start to look. You can also remove any background and then fit this properly into the area that you have for your legend. You can also have a legend header. If not, you can remove it as well. And you can also reduce the space between the arrows by increasing the size of the arrow buttons. So it is all up to you how you want to position these arrow buttons. So this is how it would look. For the next one, I'm going to build a pie chart, which is basically a transformed legend. So it's basically using a pie that looks like a legend. For this, I'm going to pull the regions onto the row and also to the column, and from the measure we'll convert this to a count of distinct. Then pick the pie from the show me and make sure that you're doing count distinct and fit it to an entire view. So now each of these regions have their own quarter or quadrant and they are aligned well over here. Once you pull this pie onto your dashboard, it starts going to look something like this. You can call this as a pie legend and also remove any background color. I would suggest, if you want, you can also resize the size of this pie so that it fits up pretty well on the dashboard, and this is how it would finally look like. For the next one, we are going to use a brick tile as legend. For this, I'm going to make use of something that we previously built in our video. So I'm just going to duplicate that particular shield, which was called as a tile legend. You can refer it from the part 1 of the same video. Over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the count distinct of regions onto the size shelf, and region is something I'm going to remove out completely. From the marks, now pull the bar. Fit this to an entire view so that it looks like bricks laid out next to each other, and then make sure that the font is aligned properly and is falling correctly as we want it to. You can also make sure that there are some spaces after the font. That way what would happen is it would just sit right above these bricks and it would look like something like this. You can also match the color of the font with the marks, and then finally pull this over onto your sheet. This is how your dashboard would start to transform once you have a legend like this, which looks like bricks or tiles, whatever you would want to call it. For the next one, we are going to create hexagonal connected shapes as legends. For this, we are going to again use shapes as hexagon. Pull the region onto the column and type min of 0 into rows. Now duplicate min of 0, make this a dual axis, make sure the axis is synchronized, and you can now hide the header. Next, you can go to the first marks card and change it to a line. So all of these are now connected and they are connected well. And on the next one, you can make this into a shape. Now, since this is an hexagonal view, we are going to use a hexagonal shape which I've already saved in my shapes folder, and just click on OK. Once you do that, pull the regions onto the color. This way we have the legend colors as well. Next, align the text well so that it just fits in correctly as we want it to. If needed, you can give some spaces so that it falls just right below the hexagon. You can use the same color as the legend, or you can also use a black color. That's up to you. Hide any lines or any zero lines that are over here on the dashboard, and then fit this properly. This is how this is going to start to transform. You can use any other shapes like circles, triangles, rectangles, anything that you would want to. Right now for this I'm using a hexagonal shape. Now let's go ahead and pull what we just created onto our dashboard. I'm going to remove the earlier legend which we created, and let's call this hexagonal legends. I'm going to format and remove the background color, fit it properly, and that's how it would look. Finally, the last one is going to be an abbreviation that's going to be used as legend. For this, I'm just going to duplicate the hexagonal legends that we created already, and instead we are just going to do a small trick over here. I'm duplicating or creating a copy of regions and giving each of the region an alias, which is C, E, S and W for the respective regions, and then I'm going to pull that onto the label. From the second marks card, change it to text instead of shape and make the size of this a little bit bigger. You can change the color of the line or make it a little lighter or reduce the opacity so that it just looks like they are connected. And then you can also resize your text. Now once you pull this onto your dashboard, this is how it would look like. Yeah, we will not need the title, so I'm just going to hide it, and there you have a different looking legend which you can use. So in this video we basically looked at 10 different types of legends that you can have on your dashboard. But always remember, when you apply a filter on your dashboard, every time you do that, it also gets applied to your legend. In order to avoid that, make sure you go here and just click on ignore action. This way, whenever something gets filtered, your legends would stay intact. I hope that this is something which you would have enjoyed watching. This is a part 2 version of my existing video. If you did, try it for yourself and let me know how did you feel about it. You can write any doubts or queries to me or reach out to me. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.